You never really know the kind of person sitting beside you until you're no longer useful to them. Some friendships grow from laughter, some from pain, but the most dangerous ones grow from help. Help that turns into hate, kindness that gets twisted, and love that slowly becomes something else. This isn't a story about enemies. It's about what happens when someone you loved starts watching your life as if it should have been theirs. Because not all heartbreak comes from romance. Some come from the hands that once held yours in the dark. Ami and Petra met in JSS2. It started with a fight. Petra was being mocked by 3 seniors for not having enough pocket money. She stood there quietly, trying not to cry. Ami had just transferred from another school. She didn't know Petra yet, but she saw what was happening. "Leave her alone. Is it food your father put in her bag?" Ami's voice was sharp and confident. That moment sparked a friendship. Petra had never been defended like that before, and Ami enjoyed being needed. Soon, they were inseparable. They shared toothpaste, slippers, even secret crushes. Petra came from a family that valued education. Her dad was a tailor and her mum was a trader. They didn't have much, but they managed. Ami's family had even less. Her father wasn't around, and her mum sold things by the roadside. They both came from modest backgrounds, but Petra was calm and collected, while Ami was fire and noise. Together, they balanced each other out. At night, Petra would study with a small flashlight while Ami braided her hair and gossiped about their teachers. Though they were different, they felt safe with one another. That bond followed them to university. Both got into Obafemi Awolowo University, though in different faculties. Petra was admitted into architecture, while Ami wasn't sure what she wanted. She started with political science, switched to mass communication, and then settled on sociology. Petra loved structure, planning, and quiet success. She stayed in the library, rarely attended parties, and always submitted her assignments early. Ami was the life of every hostel. She knew all the right people, shortcuts, and slang. Yet, she always returned to Petra's room when things fell apart. During their 3rd year, Ami couldn't pay her fees on time. Petra lent her money from her scholarship, no questions asked. In their final year, when Ami failed her project defense, Petra stayed up helping her retype it from scratch. They graduated a year apart, and they swore, no matter what happens after school, we'll always look out for each other. But life after school has a way of testing even the strongest bonds. Petra served in a private firm in Lagos and quickly got retained. Though she didn't earn much, it was stable. She moved back to Ibadan, found a small apartment in Akobo, and got a role with Ridge Heights, a rising architectural firm in Bodija. Ami, on the other hand, served in Osun State and came back home, but for a full year, nothing worked. No job, no calls, no help. She sold lip gloss, joined a small MLM group, and even tried tutoring, but it wasn't enough. One night, Petra called her. "There's a vacancy at my firm," she said. "Front desk. It's entry level, but it's clean, and the environment is solid." Ami didn't let her finish before shouting, "Petra, God will bless you. I've been praying. This is it." Petra personally spoke to HR and vouched for Ami's character. 2 weeks later, Ami was officially hired. She wore a borrowed wig on her first day, and Petra bought her a new pair of shoes. They resumed together every morning, and Ami would shout, "Nah, me and my madam they come o." People thought their friendship was unbreakable, but inside Ami's heart, something was already shifting. At first, it was beautiful. They'd eat together during breaks. Petra would bring rice and plantain from home, and Ami would bring gala and coke. They'd laugh, gossip, and walk to the junction together to get bikes. But slowly, things began to change. Petra was an architect. She had her own office, worked on projects, and sometimes attended meetings with directors. Ami was the front desk officer. She arranged files, welcomed visitors, and answered calls. No one insulted her, but people didn't really notice her either. They'd walk past her and ask, "Is Petra in?" Even staff from other departments began to refer to Petra as our golden girl. And Ami? She was becoming invisible in a place her best friend had brought her. One afternoon, the company got a new client a big deal. Petra was asked to lead the concept pitch. It was her first time leading solo. Ami helped her print the designs and even ironed her shirt the night before. But the next morning, when Petra stood in the conference room, something went wrong. The designs were missing, and the presentation file was empty. Petra froze. Everyone looked at her, and even the client frowned. She apologized and tried to explain, but the damage was done. That night, she cried in Ami's car. "I don't know how I forgot to double-check. It's like I'm losing my mind," she said. Ami held her hand and said, "You're just stressed. You'll bounce back. I believe in you." But she didn't say that she was the one who deleted the file. She had done it that morning, quietly. On Petra's system, she knew the password. And when she saw Petra almost break down in front of the directors, she felt powerful. Petra met Kunle during a design inspection project. He was the structural engineer assigned to her team. Tall, calm, slightly shy, but firm when it mattered. Petra didn't talk much about him at first, but Ami noticed the way she smiled when he called. One Friday, Petra finally said, "He asked me to be his girl. I said yes." Ami laughed. "Ah, our Madame don't enter Lovo." She was happy, or at least she looked happy. But that night, something turned in her. She sat in her room and stared at her reflection. Petra had the job, the clothes, the respect. Now the man too? Does she even know how lucky she is? Ami whispered. The next time Kay, "Kunle, meet Ami, my closest person. She's like my sister." Kunle smiled politely. Ami smiled wider. Any friend of Petra's is mine too. After that, she started texting him casually. "Just checking on you, boss engineer. Hope work isn't stressing you." At first, he replied out of politeness. But when she sent him a message at 11:30 p.m. one night saying, "If I weren't Petra's friend, would you have looked at me?" he didn't reply. The next day, he stopped replying altogether. Ami felt humiliated. She blamed Petra for having a man that respected boundaries, and the resentment grew deeper. Ami's plan became slow and quiet. She started with small rumours in the office. Petra dey form like say, she no pass everybody. You know say the boss dey favour her small. She printed fake chat screenshots and left them in the printer, showing Petra gossiping about the HR manager. She watched as Petra got called in for questioning. Petra denied it. They couldn't prove anything. But the seed of doubt was planted. Then came the next move. Ami forwarded a private client file from Petra's desktop to a rival department. She made it look like it was sent from Petra's email. When Petra was asked about it, she was shocked. "I didn't send anything. I haven't even spoken to that client yet." But the evidence was there. Her account, her timestamp. Petra went home and cried. That weekend, she didn't show up at church. She didn't answer Kunle's calls. Ami, as usual, visited her with food and a fake smile. "Don't let them break you. You're stronger than this." But her hands were holding the knife that cut Petra down. Petra started sensing something. Things always seemed to go wrong around Ami. She would tell her a plan, and the plan would scatter. She would mention a new idea, and someone else would present it first. So one day, she tested her. She created a fake design draft, saved it with a unique symbol watermark only visible when printed. She emailed it to only one person, Ami. 3 days later, that exact draft was spotted in another firm's proposal. Petra didn't cry this time. She smiled sadly. She now had her answer. She didn't confront her. She didn't curse. She just walked into HR, requested a private meeting, and handed over her evidence. HR was shocked. But Petra made a request. "Don't make it loud, just let her go." They agreed. Ami came to work the next day, humming. She had made her nails the night before. She got to her desk and found an envelope. Inside, her termination letter. Signed, sealed, no explanation, no second chance. She stormed into Petra's office, shaking. "You planned this? You think you can just throw me away like dirt?" Petra looked at her, calm, no anger. "I begged for you. I helped you. You tried to ruin me. You lied. You stole. And I still didn't expose you to the world. I just took my peace back." Ami's mouth shook. "You think this is over?" she whispered. Petra didn't reply. She turned back to her laptop. And that was the last day she ever saw Ami face to face. Ami didn't sleep that night. She walked back and forth in her room like someone who had been robbed. She kept checking Petra's WhatsApp status, expecting to see sadness. But instead, Petra posted a photo of her table, a plate of amala, and a simple caption, "Peace noise." Ami's chest burned. She had lost her job, lost her image, lost her control. Yet Petra was still smiling. "No, you don't get to walk away clean," she muttered. She paced, angry, confused. She called a cousin from another town, someone she hadn't spoken to. "I need help. Someone that can stop somebody from shining." The cousin didn't ask too many questions, just sent a number and location. It took Ami 5 hours by bus to reach the town. She wore a scarf, glasses, and sat quietly throughout the journey. The area was deep far from tarred roads, with thick bushes and goats crossing carelessly. She finally stopped at a mud compound with red symbols on the wall. There was an old woman sitting in front back hunched, lips dark, wearing no expression. She didn't greet Ami, didn't ask her name, just looked at her and said, "You're not the first, and you won't be the last." Ami brought out Petra's photo, an old hairpin, and 10-0 wrapped in black nylon. "I want her to feel stuck, to lose everything, like I did." The woman collected everything, said a few words in a language Ami didn't know, then handed her a calabash filled with ash, thread, and paper. "Pour this near her gate. Say nothing. Don't look back. Don't speak of it again." Ami nodded. She travelled back to Ibadan that same night. 3 days later, Petra collapsed during a building inspection. One minute she was fine. The next, her body locked up like she couldn't move. The doctors said there was nothing physically wrong. No malaria, no infection, no dehydration. They gave her vitamins and sent her home. But things got worse. She'd wake up at 2 a.m., gasping. She'd feel like something was watching her in the dark. One morning, she found all her houseplants dead. All at once, Kunle began to worry. "Babe, maybe we should go see someone in spiritual." But Petra said no. She didn't want to believe someone close could wish her harm. Until the dream started. She saw herself inside a box. Tied, silent, screaming, but no one heard. She called her pastor. They prayed. They fasted. But the strange heaviness lingered. One Sunday evening, Petra lit a candle and sat alone. She played worship songs. She whispered, "I don't know what this is, but whoever is behind it, may what they planned for me return to them, full and without mercy." That night, she slept peacefully for the first time in weeks. The next morning, she received an alert. A company in Abuja wanted her as a design consultant. That same week, she got better. Her smile returned. She didn't know what happened, but Ami did. Ami started hearing her name in her sleep. She would wake with scratches on her arms and no memory. She began to lose her appetite. Her face broke out in rashes. Her fingers began to twitch randomly. She visited the woman in Oyo again. "Something is wrong. I'm suffering." The woman laughed dryly. "You brought her name. I told you not to look back, but your heart was never strong enough. Undo it. You want her light back? Then give yours fully." Ami screamed, ran out of the compound. But something followed her. At home, food spoiled the same day it was cooked. She stopped dreaming. Or when she did, she saw fire. Her phone began to freeze randomly. People she called didn't pick. Even Kunle, once a passing thought of affection, was now married to Petra. And Petra, glowing, travelling, winning. Ami, fading, unseen. A year later, Ami was spotted near Dugby Bridge. She was sitting by herself, hair scattered, eyes blank, muttering words no one could understand. "It's not her light. It's not her fault. I was just supposed to be her friend." People walked past. Some looked. No one stopped. The girl who once stood beside greatness now stood in shadows. Not because Petra cursed her, but because she couldn't stand that Petra was rising. Petra never told anyone what happened. She never mentioned Ami's name again. But during a women's empowerment event in Abuja, someone asked, "What's your biggest lesson in your journey?" Petra smiled, paused, and said quietly, "Some people want to grow with you, but only if they can be above you. And if they can't, they'll try to pull you under. You can forgive them, but never forget what their silence cost you. If you've ever helped someone and they turned around to harm you, if you've ever shared your blessings and watched them use it to compete with you, if you've ever wondered why a friend turned cold the moment you started shining, this story is for you. Because not every broken friendship needs repair. Some betrayals are not lessons. They're warnings.